Random House Audio presents The Book of Unknown Americans by Cristina Henríquez. Read for you by Yareli Arizmendi, Cristina Avila, Jesse Corti, Gustavo Rex, Ozzy Rodriguez, and Gabriel Romero. Let us all be from somewhere. Let us tell each other everything we can. Bob Hickok, a primer. Alma. Back then, all we wanted was the simplest things. To eat good food, to sleep at night, to smile, to laugh, to be well. We felt it was our right as much as it was anyone's to have those things. Of course, when I think about it now, I see that I was naive. I was blinded by the swell of hope and the promise of possibility. I assumed that everything that would go wrong in our lives already had. 30 hours after crossing the border, we arrived. The three of us in the back seat of a red pickup truck that smelled of cigarette smoke and gasoline. "Wake up," I whispered, nudging Maribel as the driver turned into a parking lot. "We're here, hija." "Where?" Maribel asked. "Delaware." She blinked at me in the dark. Arturo was sitting on the other side of us. "Is she okay?" he asked. "Don't worry," I said. "She's fine." It was just after sunset and darkness bled in from the outer reaches of the sky. A few minutes earlier, we'd been on a busy road, driving through four-way intersections, past strip malls and fast food restaurants. But as we neared the apartment building, all of that had given way. The last thing I saw before we turned onto the long gravel lane that led to the parking lot was an abandoned auto body shop, its hand-painted sign on the ground, propped up against the gray stucco facade. The driver parked the truck and lit another cigarette. He'd been smoking the whole trip. It gave him something to do with his mouth, I guess, since he'd made it clear from the moment he picked us up in Laredo that he wasn't interested in conversation. Arturo climbed out first, straightened his cowboy hat, and surveyed the building. 2 stories made of cinder blocks and cement, an outdoor walkway that ran the length of the second floor with metal staircases at either end, pieces of broken styrofoam in the grass, a chain-link fence along the perimeter of the lot, cracks in the asphalt. I had expected it to be nicer. Something with white shutters and red bricks. Something with manicured shrubs and flower boxes in the windows, the way American houses looked in movies. This was the only option Arturo's new job had given us, though, and I told myself we were lucky to have it. Silently, in the dim and unfamiliar air, we unloaded our things. Plastic trash bags packed with clothes and sheets and towels. Cardboard boxes filled with dishes wrapped in newspaper. A cooler crammed with bars of soap. Bottles of water, cooking oil, and shampoo. During the drive, we had passed a television set on the curb, and when he saw it, the driver braked hard and backed up. "You want it?" he asked us. Arturo and I looked at each other in confusion. "The television?" Arturo asked. The driver said, "You want it? Take it." Arturo said, "It's not stealing?" The driver snorted. "People throw away everything in the United States, even things that are still perfectly good." Later, when he stopped again and pointed to a discarded kitchen table, and later again at a mattress propped up like a sliding board against someone's mailbox, we understood what to do and loaded them into the truck. After we carried everything up the rusted metal staircase to our apartment, After we found the key the landlord had left for us, taped to the threshold of the door, Arturo went back down to pay the driver. He gave him half the money we had. Gone. Just like that. The driver put the bills in his pocket and flicked his cigarette out the window. "Good luck," I heard him say before he drove off. Inside the apartment, Arturo flipped the light switch on the wall, and a bare bulb in the ceiling flashed on. The linoleum floors were dingy and worn. Every wall was painted a dark mustard yellow. There were 2 windows, a large one at the front and a smaller one at the back in the only bedroom, both covered by plastic sheets held in place with tape, the wood casings warped and splintered. Across the hall from the bedroom was a bathroom with a baby blue sink, a toilet ringed with rust, and an upright shower stall with neither a door nor a curtain. At first glance, the kitchen was better. It was bigger, at least. Though the stove burners were wrapped in aluminum foil and bed sheets had been stapled over the lower cabinets in place of doors, an old refrigerator stood in the corner, its doors wide open. Arturo walked over to it and poked his head inside. "Is this what smells?" he asked. "Guacala!" The whole place reeked of mildew and faintly of fish. "I'll clean it in the morning," I said as Arturo closed the doors. I glanced at Maribel standing next to me. She was expressionless as usual, clutching her notebook to her chest. What did she make of all this, I wondered? Did she understand where we were? We didn't have the energy to unpack or brush our teeth or even change our clothes, so after we looked around, we slapped our newly acquired mattress on the floor in the bedroom, crawled on top of it, and closed our eyes. For nearly an hour, maybe more, I laid there listening to the soft chorus of Maribel's and Arturo's long, even breaths. In and out. In and out. The surge of possibility. The tug of doubt. Had we done the right thing coming here? Of course, I knew the answer. We had done what we had to do. We had done what the doctors told us. I stacked my hands on top of my stomach and told myself to breathe. I relaxed the muscles in my face, slackened my jaw. But we were so far from anything familiar. Everything here, the sour air, the muffled noises, the depth of the darkness was different. We had bundled up our old life and left it behind, and then hurtled into a new one with only a few of our things, each other and hope. Would that be enough? We'll be fine, I told myself. We'll be fine. I repeated it like a prayer until finally I fell asleep too. We woke in the morning bewildered and disoriented, glancing at one another, darting our gaze from wall to wall. And then we remembered. Delaware. Over 3,000 kilometers from our home in Pascuaro. 3,000 kilometers and a world away. Maribel rubbed her eyes. "Are you hungry?" I asked. She nodded. "I'll make breakfast," I said. "We don't have any food," Arturo mumbled. He was sitting bleary-eyed on the mattress, his elbows on his knees. "We could get some," I said. "Where?" he asked. "Wherever they sell food." But we had no idea where to go. We stepped out of the apartment into the bright sun and the damp early morning air, Arturo wearing his hat. Maribel wearing the sunglasses that the doctor has suggested she use to help ease her headaches, and walked down the gravel drive that...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?